Decision fatigue causes your mental energy to deplete. It may cause you to procrastinate or make really impulsive decisions, and just being presented with choices may feel extremely overwhelming. If you're new here, my name is Becky, and I have been living a more minimalist life the past 6 years with my family. It all started because mentally I broke. I had decision fatigue that wouldn't allow me to make even the simplest choices in the morning. And that's why I'm gonna show you these next 9 routines that I have built in over the past 6 years so that I could build back my confidence in my decision making and also regain the energy that I had lost. Like many of us, my decision fatigue all started in the morning when I would have to get dressed, and I would pull out several different outfits, never really being happy with what I had on, throwing them back on the ground, creating these massive piles of clothing that I knew eventually I was going to have to deal with and that I was going to procrastinate on. So with all of these decisions that I made from the second that I woke up, I realized that something had to change in my morning routine. And that all started with the dream of picking out one outfit, being happy with it, and walking out the door. I knew that I had too many clothes, and I knew a lot of them I didn't really like. I had just been procrastinating on making those decisions. And so in order to get this dream of having one outfit and walking out the door, I started with massive declutters. I would take all of my clothes out, I would sort them, I would try them on, and I would get rid of anything that I didn't immediately enjoy the way it felt on my body or the way it looked. That's how I got rid of the first 60% of my clothes. I'd gather them up, and if I wasn't sure I was ready to declutter them, I would put them in my maybe pile in another room. And lo and behold, almost every single time I would get rid of the whole bag within a month. That's when I read the 333 book by Courtney Carver, and it really inspired me to try something different. So I created my own kind of 333, and I picked out only enough hangers to have a few pair of pants, a few shirts, and my favorite pieces of jewelry. That domino effect got me going and even looking at my shoes and my outerwear. And while all of this was going on, I was amazed how much easier it was to get ready in the morning. And the idea of picking out one outfit and getting out the door was a possibility and happened day after day. And now in my everyday life, I only have about 18 hangers and my 3 baskets. The next thing I knew I had to conquer once I took care of my clothing was my morning and my evening routine, because decision fatigue is so real at the end of the day, especially for me. And I would open up a drawer full of products that I couldn't really figure out what I really liked and didn't like. And I would end up leaving the bathroom feeling a huge sense of procrastination and frustration in my evening routine. And so in that big decluttering process, I found one brand that I have really loved and adored. And that's how I became a part of the Osea family. I have absolutely loved their nightly routine. And now this simple 3-step process is all I use at night. And so through minimalism, I've really learned about having exactly what you need. If you buy something that is just what you've been looking for, then you can not only buy that product over and over again, but you're going to continue to be happy with that product. And so being a frustrated consumer where I was buying so many products, a lot of times they were cheap and not the quality I was really hoping for, I would have a drawer full of things that I never really used. I love their dedication to high quality vegan ingredients and their passion for a family owned company that keeps climate neutral and ocean positive commitments to their customers. I have found through Osea that I really enjoy just the 3 steps of my nightly routine. I have their cleanser and I have a nightly serum, and then I just do a moisturizer over top. It has the ingredients that I was looking for and the quality of the ingredients that I was looking for. And so the great thing is that I just don't have to think about it anymore. It has become a routine that I continue to do week after week. And when it runs out, I just go and I can buy the exact same thing. And something that you will notice as you're using the same products over and over again is that you will start to actually see and reap the benefits that those products will promise. If you're interested in trying the nightly routine that I use, then you can click on the link down in the description below and use the code MINIMALEASE and you'll get an extra 10% off. Those first 2 things were extremely important to me. And once I had the morning and evening routine in place, I knew that I could start scaffolding new habits on top of that. If you've never read the book Atomic Habits, it talks about how once you have one under control, then you can build in one more. And so the next habit I built on was the Pomodoro technique. This technique basically says that you are going to work nonstop, highly focused for about 25 minutes to an hour, and then you're gonna take a 5-minute break. Though very short, allows you to step out of the highly focused flow that you were in and reset where you are. And what I found is that even just going to the bathroom or grabbing a quick snack, that 5 minutes allows my brain to quickly rest. And so when I do come back to working highly focused again, I am re-energized and able to think clearer because I have stood up and moved around and got my blood back flowing. And the Pomodoro effect leads into my next habit, and that is to exercise during these quick breaks. And so what the Pomodoro effect also says is that after 4 highly intensive 25-minute to an hour working sessions, you're gonna take a little bit of a longer break. So that's what we might think of as our lunch or our walk outside. And for me, what I have found to be really beneficial is to get up and get my blood moving. And that has definitely helped me to reduce my stress level and improve my mood. It is amazing what 10 or 15 minutes of movement can really do throughout your day. Okay, this next one is so important and very helpful, whether you have ADHD or not. I think this is amazing. And that is the idea of batching. This idea of putting all of the similar items you're gonna need to do in a day together, and you actually stop procrastinating as much and you get things done a lot faster. So no matter what you're doing, whether it's answering emails or wanting to clean the house or declutter, you can batch these things in order to be more productive. And so in the evening, when I get home from work, I will batch the evening routines that I have. I will clean all the dishes and dry them and put them away before I move on to the next item that I want to do in my routine. Doing one thing at a time has really helped me to not get distracted and end up getting nothing done. If you've ever felt like you worked for 30 minutes and then you can't see anything at the end that you've actually accomplished, then batching similar things together is really going to help you. You can also compare this when you are decluttering to something called the ski slope method. It teaches you to do one small corner of a room at a time. And so batching those tasks can really help you to see the progress you're making throughout the day. Something I've been terrible at as a grown-up is turning off distractions. And when I finally added this habit onto my stack of habits, it made a huge difference. So during the day, I will have my phone on silent. And then also, if I am doing something that I need to get in a flow state, I will turn my phone over and have it on the other side of the room. I know as a mom, a lot of us get nervous, like, what if I miss something? What if somebody calls me, needs me, blah, blah, blah. But what I have found to be so crucial about this, and what the research says, you can't be in a flow state if you're constantly distracted by things going on around you. Every time that you get a little buzz, every time that you get a ding from an email, your brain then has to reset back into what task you are doing. And I know a lot of us don't get a lot of time to do the tasks that we want to do, whether we're at work or we're at home or we have kids. We are constantly being distracted. And of course, some of those distractions we can't help and we love because they're our children. But as much as you can, scheduling in times where you can shut that phone off, you can turn the computer and the TV off, and you can highly focus on one activity at a time without any distractions, you'll be amazed how much more you get done in that 30 minutes than you ever did in a full day. I hope you guys are finding these helpful. I know some of them are silly, but these are habits that really helped me as I started stacking them. And this next one is to do a 5 to 10 minute declutter at night. So decluttering and resetting my home, hitting those high traffic areas in the evening has allowed me to reduce the amount of stress in the morning, but also my home is constantly in a cleaner state than it ever was before. In the evening, I make sure that my keys are by the door. I make sure that my coat is where it needs to be. The shoes are put away. Our bags are packed and ready to go. And while I'm doing that, I am looking for things that don't belong. I am looking for those items that can go, those ones we haven't touched in a long time, those shoes that my daughter has outgrown, or the coat that has a big hole in it that I don't have the capacity to fix. Those are items that I'm grabbing and throwing in the basket that's right near my door. The more often that we make decluttering just a quick, easy process throughout our days, the less stressful the idea of decluttering feels, because we're getting used to it. We're telling our brain this is something that we do all the time. This is not stressful. And that really leads into what I do in the evenings. As I'm resetting, I talk to my husband on the couch for 5 to 10 minutes about what the next day is going to bring. Whether you have somebody else to talk to or you're just going to sit and talk to yourself out loud, reliving what happened during the day gives you a time to process, and then expanding that to talking about what is coming the next day and in the future allows you to be on the same page with what's going on, acknowledging your feelings you might have about things that are coming up, and it allows the other people in your home to know what's going on. And you can start that running list of what's going to be my 6 to 8 things that I need to get accomplished in the next day. Wasting your time in the evening used to be the biggest thing that I would do. And that doesn't mean that I don't sit on the couch and watch a movie when I feel like it or read a book. But it means that I'm acknowledging that I need these tiny bits of time to highly focus and get a few things done, because I know that that's going to reset my next day and make that day more productive and easier for myself. And that leads into the last one, which might be the hardest one for a lot of us, and that is to end your day screen-free for at least 30 to 60 minutes and at least getting off of social media at the end of the day. I did a complete social media wipe out for 6 months. And during that 6 months, I learned so much about myself and what social media does to me when I'm on it for too long. And if you've never done a break from social media, I highly recommend it, even if it's just for a week, because you start to realize what your triggers are. And you're able then to step back whenever you need to, when you acknowledge, oh, I'm being triggered again. And those could be just you're spending too much time on it, or you are following people that aren't good for your mental health or are making you feel bad, or you're watching things that are really sad and depressing. And so that is changing what your mood feels like at the end of the day. Social media can be very helpful. It can connect us. It can help us learn new things about ourselves and about other people, and that's fantastic. But social media can also be really detrimental to our mental health and take away from those around us. I realized during that 6-month break how little time I was spending face-to-face talking to people, or even just touching and hugging my loved ones and interacting with them during game nights. I was spending so much time on my phone that those things that I really wanted to do weren't happening. I was trying to get that feeling of companionship and love and affection from people on my phone, and that really just isn't the same. And so if you have gained any insight, I would love to know what habits you follow during your day, things that help you. I'm sure we could all learn a lot from each other. And if you want to continue your journey learning about minimalism and decluttering, then click on one of these videos right here. And I wish you guys all the very, very best.